Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast, side B of our 100th episode special. I'm one of your hosts, Adnan. My co-host Adam is here. Adam, you here?
I'm here. Dinosaurs are real, by the way, and I'm here.
And you are here. That's all we can really
Yeah.
ask for nowadays. It's even for me as well to turn up for StrangeCast. It's all we can ever ask for is that we are here. But we are here. It's 100th episode, obviously. It's a very special moment for us after doing it for 4 years or so. So thank you for joining us. As always, side A is available on podcast services and on YouTube. We are recording the same day. We just split them up as well because my schedule's a bit hectic as well. Makes things easier. So hopefully you get this on the Friday, and we're recording again on the Sunday, 11th of May. So just give you a bit of context, and this also leans more into Lost Records and Don't Nod, so we thought we'd split it and saves us a Lost Records journal episode, essentially. But anyway, before we start, if you are new here, please do consider dropping subscribe to the channel, turn notifications, like this video. If you do not like this video, you'll become controversial, like Safi. So I'm going to bounce off the last episode. So if you want to get the reference, you have to go and watch the last episode. That's what's going to happen. But you will become controversial. You'll become a Nepo baby, and then Adam will call you a Nepo baby as well.
I call everybody a Nepo baby. I call the mirror a Nepo baby.
Exactly. You'll become a Nepo baby. So like the video, share your friends. We're at 1,800 subscribers. So if you can help us get to 1,900, it's greatly appreciated. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So we're available on video podcasts, Spotify with a video version, Apple Podcasts. All services were available on there. And also as well, we've got 310 or 11 followers on Spotify. We've got 49 ratings, 4.8 ratings. So thank you so much for that. Please do rate us. Go and follow us as well, because you can download your episodes as soon as they become available. And obviously boosting our visibility if you do rate us and kind of like engage with it. So please do that. So Adam, this is more of a Don't Nod centric / Lost Records one that we have here. A lot of it's again following off of the stuff that we got from the financial report, which was released, and we'll run through that. Before we start as well, it's just come in my head as well. I'm just going to point this out. When I was editing episode 99 of StrangeCast, there's a moment where I'm like, you know, it'd be great when it was like, we all want the listeners to meet, for Michelle to meet Adam. And even your persona, you just start laughing. I'm like, you can't keep it on your face. I'm like, ugh, because the people have never seen you without your persona. And that's the thing, you are putting this on. And
yes, my persona. I thought I said my fursona. I was like, what?
No, not
my
your persona. Your persona.
Oh.
It's the, as you are the eagle of the podcasts causing havoc.
Yes. I feel like if you met me in real life on the streets of North Carolina, you'd be very disappointed because I'm super just chill. Like, have you ever seen an interview with Scott the Woz, and he's just super nonchalant?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So like Scott the Woz, like, hey guys, it's Sky here. But if he's on an interview, he's like, you know, I don't really care. Nintendo. Like, he's just super nonchalant.
Really?
That's where I'm at. Where I'm just like, I don't care, dude.
Saying that, they probably get a better vibe from you than they would from me, because it'd be all female. The camera goes off, it's completely different. It's like, even Adam's been like that when we do the streams. It's like, oh god, it's like they don't know what's happening here when he's not in his safe space doing things. It's like, I'm
you
like
have a 10-foot pole that you just like poke people away from you, like 10 feet away.
Yeah, I'm like Cat in the window during Lost Records, holding the signs, being like, go away, that's like me. So yeah, hopefully we do try and keep things spoiler free on StrangeCast from Lost Records stuff. So we will try and, you know, resist spoilers in parts, because there's some topics that might have to delve into it. So this is a warning if you go and play the game before you start listening to it. And if we do go into spoiler heavy sections, we'll tell you. But anyway, Adam, should we kick things off with our first piece of news?
Yes, on the pitch.
On the pitch. So, and that's not our first piece of news, that's our last piece of news. So I'm going to scroll down here. So just for context as well, if you haven't listened to the first part, go and listen to it, obviously. But this is a continuation of Don't Nod's financial report. So it published a full annual finance report on the, I think it was April the 30th. So it's like a continuation after its earnings comes out. It has to put it out. And it's just like little details I picked out. It's all in French. I'd like translate certain parts of it. Some of it's a little bit, you know, that kind of like rustic, but this is one of the ones as well, because I thought we'd start off here as well, Adam, because it is about Lost Records. So in Don't Nod's financial report, they said here, without providing a definitive answer, Bloom and Rage leaves everyone free to interpret these themes and confront the tensions that drive them. So it's a specific quote that's taken out from the report. So basically I highlighted because they are accepting the fact that they leave you with a very enticing ending, which is like open for interpretation. I think it's the first time I've seen even with Jean-Luc and Michel's interviews and Luke's, I think it's the first time they've really acknowledged this is the ending that is set up for that open-ended.
There it is. It's just, I'm just disappointed. Sequel baiting. How
tape free. Give me tape free.
Why are they not giving us tape 3? They're not giving us the tape 3, guys. They're sequel baiting. I'm like, oh my god, who cares? It's a new IP. Of course, they're sequel baiting. Of course they are.
Look,
so
but you have to be like we had a big conversation me and Abby on this, but it's like fine line balance, because I've seen people say that like Batman Begins is sequel baiting because the ending. I'm like, not a chance. The film stands on its own. That sequel baiting is just to give you an enticing thing of like, oh, we have more to tell here. The film stands on its own.
Like all those movies stand, except for Dark Knight Rises doesn't really. Yeah, I mean Dark Knight Rises. I still stand by that. All 3 of those movies stand on their own.
Yeah,
I will. That's my hot take. The Batman trilogy, all 3 of the movies stand on their own.
The Dark Knight Rises is great. Don't disrespect that film.
Oh, I'm not disrespecting it, but I'm trying to think of like the setup of the movie. I don't really think it like picks up really at all. I don't think it really ends on a way of just like I'm like thinking through the movie. I'm like, no, that also stands on its own.
Yeah, it ends on a Lost Records ending, where it's like a little bit of an enticing thing of like, oh, this is use your imagination for what's next. And by the way, as well, the Dark Knight Rises, one of my favorite videos of all time is when Colin and Greg Miller are talking about it, and Colin is winding up Greg. What a day! What a time that was when they did that. That was amazing content. No, I think like when they've accepted that, like look, I get how people feel about the game. I still think it stands on its own. I really do. I think that this is an independent story. It stands on its own. It's got thematic elements which can be explained a bit more, i.e. the Abyss, packages, etc. I think these things can be explained in a direct sequel or in an anthology game, because I think there's that Abyss portal is giving you space to kind of move around with this universe, this series. It's been greenlit. We know from Luc Baghadoust's post from Xbox why that's it. But, the fact that they've just basically said, like, we're teasing the endings. I'm like, yeah, that's what I used to get with my old films and my TV shows and stuff, where you had like a bit of a enticing scenario of what happens next. It's quite like, oh, actually, let's look forward to the future. And again, it's not in the sequel baiting thing, because I'm like, still, I've enjoyed Lost Records and I played it all the way through, and it's like, that stands on its own. Whatever comes next is great then at that point, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next as well. So Michel being Michel as well, he's doing great things. I love Michel. So, I thought we'd bring that in as the first piece. Anything else to add before I jump into the next one?
Touch grass nerds.
Yes, the nerds. Like Homer, he's yelling out the car. Nerds. That's what it is. So Adam, this is an interesting one, actually. I pulled it out from the fine details of this report. So they said like inspired. So Don't Nod says in the report, it says inspired by movements like in translation. And Don't Nod listed 3 inspirations for Don't Nod Montreal's Lost Records Bloom Rage. Obviously, the first one we know is Riot Girls. Like that kind of like, is it Riot Girls or is it just girls?
I'm gonna let you just say whatever you feel like.
Why?
Follow your British heart.
Why'd you like let me humiliate myself to like the American audience and people? Like people don't start laughing.
I mean,
at me.
you humiliate yourself by calling every herb ever, like every seasoning herb, the wrong way. How do you pronounce the Thai seasoning? It's like a little leaf.
Oh, do you know what? You and Abby was doing the same thing to me in the last episode. She was like, "What do you mean garage?" And I'm like, and she did the exact same thing as you. I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm speaking to Adam here.
I'll put some basil in there. Who the hell is basil? It's basil.
God almighty. You guys can't talk about anything, man. But the minute you took a U out of colors, like, I lost all respect for all of you. Like,
so you say Riot Girl the way you want to.
Anyway, so obviously the first one we know very well. The second one is obviously the Me Too movement, which is an interesting point of inspiration. And the next one was Kavanagh versus Ford, which is a case, and I need to highlight this again actually, because I looked at it. It's not specifically named, it's named as that in the translation, but it's about this case, which I'll pull up here for you guys. It very much, I think, is aligned to the Me Too part as well. So as you can see here, this is on Vox. So the Ford Kavanagh sexual assault hearings, which has been reported in 2018. So if you want to know why women don't come forward with allegations of sexual assault. Thursday's Senate hearings offer a clue. In the morning, an all-male panel of Republican senators hired an outside prosecutor to try to pick apart Christine Blasie's Ford's credibility live on national television. They refused to subpoena Mark Judge, the key witness, on or launch the FBI investigation Ford asked for. After hearing her testimony and judging it credible, they simply ignored it. Apologies about this. I don't read on light screens. It's always dark screens. It's gone. There you go. So in the afternoon, the same senator vetted Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, the man Ford accused of attacking her. They cut off the prosecutor they hired in order to give the speech after lamenting the way he and his family have suffered. They said they didn't question that Ford's assault was real, but perhaps her memory was flawed. Whoever had assaulted her, could she really be trusted to say it was Kavanaugh? I think it's Kavanaugh. So it was a long case back in the day. Not back in the day, like recently.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an interesting.
And then you also saw in that same article, America's senator with a tail between his leg all the time, Lindsey Graham, right below me in South Carolina. Boy, oh boy, do we love Lindsey Graham on this podcast. Yum, yum, yum. I hate Lindsey Graham. Yeah, no, that was a big case here in the States. Yeah, and a lot of like Republicans just like lost face. Surprisingly enough, not Lindsey Graham. Just
No,
going about his way. Good for Lindsey.
And so it's interesting because like obviously like the Me Too movement and then that case as well, and obviously with Lost Records, the pandemic is filtered into the story as well in terms of like elements of it.
Yeah,
I did find it interesting when I read that. I was like, oh, that's one of the cases that you're saying is like an inspiration, and also the Me Too movement. Because obviously, as Michelle said, I'm going to warn you now, spoilers going to start coming into this because we're going to have to start breaking into this podcast. So if you haven't played Lost Records, go and play it, then come back and listen to this podcast. So, obviously you see with Dylan, for example, and the way that Corey's acting as well, it feels like that's what I see the connection at least, where it's like, and even actually Autumn's relationship as well with when she's younger as well, and even when she gets older as well, that the way has a relationship and the way she's living her life, it does seem like that is all traced within the game. And I think it's very subtle. And I've only recently picked up when they started to talk about it in that press release. And it's an interesting dynamic because I would have loved to have seen what happened if Michelle had more time with Dylan and he could have told more of this. Because I think we would have seen a bit more of like oh wow, that's like incredible in a good way and like in a thingy way, storytelling way.
Yeah. No, it's that's the thing. I feel like there's a lot more story to be said from this. I think they have a lot of inspirations and frankly, like I feel like they're just dipping their toes in how they can like really present a theme here. So in this sort of universe. So this just makes me want to look forward to tape 3 into this. We're getting a tape 3, yeah?
I think we can segue into that if you'd like. I think that's a good.
Yes, absolutely. I love tape 3.
Absolutely, as it is.
Yes.
So as in there as well, which I think was the big detail and not so much of a surprise. There's a quote there that says the Montreal Project M2, which should follow Lost Records Bloom Rage. And I'm not going to read the French translation there because it'll drive me pretty crazy.
Le Project de Montreal Project M2 qui derivat faire suite à Lost Records Bloom Rage. Perfect. Michelle would pat me on the back.
I'm clapping. So as you can see here, Adam, there's the pipeline that they've done. So Don't Nod, I believe, suspended 2 of their projects because of the reorganization project. And then the 2 of the projects that are in-house, they have revamped for the wider appeal of an audience. So as you can see there, they've marked them as well, which is all 3 of these projects are developed internally. And then obviously you have one game that's coming in 2025, which is the Lonesome Guild. We know that now. That's external. That is Studio, that Tiny Bull.
Tiny Bull, yes.
Yeah, that's Tiny Bull. So that's Tiny Bull's game, and then obviously there you can see you've got an action adventure P10, action RPG P14, and then an adventure narrative, which is M2, which will be Montreal's game at that point. So
Remember Me Too.
Oh wow, imagine that.
Yes.
So Don't Nod Montreal is working on a game in the pipeline of things. Adam, what do you think they're working on? Do you think it's Fortnite?
No, it's Remember Me Too. Straight up Remember Me Too.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you imagine though? Because like I see the logo for Remember Me. I still have to beat that game. I liked what I played so far. I just, was in the middle of a move. Um, yeah, like, can you imagine a game they're gonna remaster that almost sunk the company, and they're gonna put time and resources into remastering something that almost sunk the company, saying that like these people will buy it now, and it's just like I still like the combat. Of course, Olivier de Riviere being the composer for that game. I think it's something special, but they would be insane to do that.
You're
Like
just saying
absolutely.
hypothetically.
I'm saying hypothetically.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
don't think that it's just weird to me that they're like, why did they show that logo in that pipeline?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's laced in the report. They have like all kinds of different images and stuff, but it's interesting to put
I
it next
know,
to the
but
thing that's
to
like,
next to the pipeline, like why that image? And I'm like, dude, if we come out and Don't Nod says like remaster, I don't think it's gonna be Remember Me Too. I if anything, it'll be a Remember Me remaster. Um, but if they do that, that would be the balls on Don't Nod, dude. The balls on the like. No, there's no way that's
no,
happening.
no.
Yeah,
Those two games are internal. The ones that are in there, so there's no chance they're going to be like. And then obviously Montreal's game's going to be different. If we ever saw Remember Me 2 as a remaster, it have to be, or a sequel, it has to be Remember Me, comma TOO. That's what you should do for the game.
yes,
That's how you do it.
yeah.
I think that's how you sell.
That would
No,
be wild, dude. Like I don't see that happening, but that would be insane.
I'll be sitting here like Oskar Guilbert, like, what's going on here? What are you doing? I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
no,
I that would yeah, that would be me using the lame line like that wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. But it straight up would not be on my
no.
2025 bingo card. I think they're gonna be new IPs.
Even Don't Nod Montreal's game.
Well, no, not Don't Nod Montreal's game, but the other two that we're talking about, the
Oh
action
yeah,
RPG.
yeah.
Don't Nod Montreal is gonna be like it's gonna be Lost Records, but no, I think we're gonna see two more new IPs. I think Don't Nod's on a mission to get as many IPs as they can collectively
Mm.
and market it from there. Um, yeah, because the action RPG, like the team that made Banishers, it's too soon. It's too soon for them. Uh, it's way too soon
You
because
see that
again, like
action adventure game first.
yeah, the action adventure game. I don't know. I really don't know. But again, I guarantee none of them will be sequels. They'll all be new IPs, except for Bloom and Rage.
Yeah,
But the other two I'm speaking of.
yeah. No, because I wonder if they'll get published by an external publisher because they said that they're open to working with external publishers, so they might even
Yeah,
move one of those projects to an external publisher and then maybe move things because those are the two projects that are being reorganized in a way where they appeal for a wider audience because they reformatted them amid suspending to the production lines.
yeah,
Montreal's game, I expect to be a Lost Records game. I don't expect it to be anything else. I think people are kind of
yeah.
like doing that thing where they're spreading rumors, being like, it could be something else and completely different. No, it's going to be a Lost Records game. That studio is set up as a Lost
The
Records
team
studio.
is the team is too small to work on two different games. There's no way,
No,
dude. Absolutely no way.
no, they'll stick with this
Oh,
IP. This is the one. And do you know what, as well, for me as well, why it'll stick as well? It's the only game since Vampire and Life is Strange which has relative success because they've acknowledged it,
mm,
saying that this is sold in line with expectations. So at least it's selling, and it's something that Don't Nod has now, which is doing well. Because Jusant didn't do that, Banishers didn't do that. So I 100%
yeah,
expect this M2 project to be Lost Records, and I also expect it to be out. What year we're in? 2025. I expect it to see it by 2028.
yeah,
Personally speaking,
yeah. I even say
or
I'm even going to
2027.
put it out. I was going to say 2027. I think we're going to see it in
Everything's in
2027.
place. Michelle's there,
Yeah, it's
Luc's
all in
there,
place.
studio's built,
Yeah,
engines there.
and that's the thing. Like you can reuse assets,
Yeah,
all the time. So, I expected 2027. Yeah,
yeah, 2027
I
or
in fact
2028, either or.
not even expect it. I demand it in 2027. Okay, I hereby demand it, or I will not be friends with you in Montreal. No, no
No,
friends. Yeah, I'll
no
come
friends.
over there. I'll come over there and I'll just throw pebbles at your window and like, who is that? And I'm just like wagging my finger, like, me and you aren't friends. And they're like, who's this guy down there? Who's that
They like pull the blinds down. It's like
guy?
ignore
We're
him. Like,
not friends. Exactly. Pull your blinds down because we're not friends.
no.
And me in 2027, I will be I'm 34 now. So I'll be 36 years old. Almost I'll be cracking 40 and just be like,
Oh,
you guys.
you got
No
God,
way.
God
Yeah.
damn it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be in the late side of 30s now. Yeah.
I think 2027 is a decent thing to put out there. Maybe late 2027, like that the actual Q4 2027 window.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Life is Strange game comes out during that period. I'd be like,
There's no
do you know
way,
it's like? Do you know
dude.
it's like Martin McFly? Where he's like, I've seen this one before. And it's like I'll be like that meme. I'll be like, I've seen this before. I'm like, what's going on there?
There's no way. I mean, it's possible though. Oh my god.
They're almost
Yeah.
on very similar timescales again, like
Yeah.
the production wise. I'm like, oh my god almighty. Hopefully
God.
not. Hopefully not. And the Lost Records team can get their game in a very good like window.
Here's a big question for you.
Oh, I'm ready for this. That was like a big question.
Will we get another Bloom and Rage? Or sorry, will we get another Lost Records game before we get Elder Scrolls 6?
Oh, we're never seeing Elder Scrolls 6.
It's insane.
No,
It's
no.
insane to me, dude.
That game's
Yeah,
in Final Fantasy 15 mode. We ain't seeing it
yeah,
for a long time.
I was like saying like 2027, I'll be 36. I remember when Skyrim came out, I was in college, man. I was a junior in college, and I just like, dog, no, man, no.
There was a
So
2 at the beginning of my age when Grand Theft Auto came out. We're not seeing Elder Scrolls again. It's not happening.
no,
We will see Lost Records again. I have no doubt about it. But yeah, I think like the things are in place to get a game done much quicker. And it's like obviously scaling up from the ground up with Montreal and doing things that's obviously taking its time. But now even Michel said in one of the interviews where he's acknowledged that things will move forward. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm convinced it's a Lost Records game. There's nothing else that they're not going to be making anything else of it. And I hope them the best of luck as well because we'll be looking at it as well. And bring back Olivia Lepore. We need that. Bring her back. No matter what it is, bring her back. And also bring the other actors back as well. Because we want to see it. So that's the main thing. Adam, should we go into our next piece as well? Again, filtering through the report as it is. So I'm going to pull that out. Oh, God. There we go. Zoomed in. So, moving up here, Adam, this was a really interesting detail from the report. So it says Don't Nod has said one of quote unquote priority development areas, end quote, in the quote unquote coming period, end quote, is getting games on quote unquote mobile gaming platforms, end quote. Specifically on tablets and mobiles. It cited Life is Strange port amid this, which was ported to mobile and tablets by Blackwing Foundation. I think that was around 2017-18 frame, like on iOS and Android. I actually reviewed that as well. Got a review code from them back in the day. I was like, look at this, and I'll play it and I'll review it and get it on Metacritic, and it's like there. I think it's actually in the App Store or something. Or one of the places you can see my review or something. So I was like, okay. So yes, that has happened. So Don't Nod is like willing to move into mobile, which is always interesting, and that thingy because that is where a lot of the money is, as we've seen for many years with like Candy Crush and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to Temple Run Swan Holloway, which will be the kind of one that I want, like laced with microtransactions. I mean, many other things. Like,
I mean, it makes sense because, like, how long have gamers, real Dorito dusted, crusted fingers gamers, stupid live wire drinkers, have been like trashing mobile games? You know, it's like mobile games aren't real games, and now we're seeing legitimate like actual games coming to mobile and like award-winning games coming to mobile. Even Xbox, like everything's an Xbox and you play it on the cloud. The fact that the backbone exists. Do you know what the backbone is? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like the backbone exists. I think this is the correct move. Whether or not me and you play on mobile, which we don't, because like I know I have Netflix, and Netflix you can play games on their mobile app.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't not agree with that move. You know, yeah, it's inevitable. I can't not agree with it, even with my crusty Dorito dusted fingers.
Yeah, and Don't Nod has like resources and different things that can make like games that work on mobile. Um, and
Yeah.
whether it's like direct ports of their game or if it's like something a bit more niche and like works on mobile, maybe that is something to do. But obviously, they're doing the same thing as other publishers and developers are doing, where it's like we need to monetize every avenue and look at the best places. And mobile gaming has always been popular. Like, rest in peace, Simpsons tapped out, but like people have used like those devices for years for games. So it's interesting to see what happens. I'd like to see them move to the Switch 2 first before mobile, because I feel like they really need to get some of their games on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for them.
Good
Awesome.
for them. So should we go into our next piece then?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're continuing the trend as well, and I think we can link onto the last one as well here. It says Don't Nod has said it is quote unquote not financial. Sorry, Don't Nod has said quote unquote it is not financially dependent end quote on publishers, and is quote unquote free to contract with any publisher for each of its new projects end quote. The company remains open to working with publishers after the recent reorganization project. So that opens up the door for collaborations on those two projects internal, as we've seen. So the funding could go up. It could even open up the door for Lost Records. God only knows. Like
Published by fellow French studio Ubisoft.
God, no.
Assassin's Records. There you go.
God almighty. Oh my. Yeah, you see like Swan.
The Lost Assassins.
Swan will be sat in the water tower in Velvet Cove. Do you watch that? Oh my God. Oh my, no. I hope that they don't have to go. I hope that one or two of them made.
No, that's a far cry from happening.
Oh, I don't want them to be in there. See, I think what would be an interesting idea is if you put it on Games Pass. Do you think that may be a bit of a benefit compared to the PlayStation deal? Do you think it might actually work out better for them?
So there have been a lot of reports saying that like Game Pass has helped developers, including Expedition 33, like Sandfall. They said that like, yeah, Game Pass really helped us out here. I don't think it hurts anymore. I don't think we're on the because I don't think we can say it hurts anymore because of how many game developers are outright saying no, Game Pass helps us out. Like No More Robots, that publisher or that developer saying that like Game Pass saves them. So, I can't say that like getting a Microsoft publishing would hurt them. It would suck once again to get another Don't Nod game exclusive to the Xbox. Something as important as Tell Me Why, exclusive to the Xbox. It would suck, but like to make the company survive, it's sometimes you have to take those.
I'd like for them to put like a deal in place where it's similar to the PlayStation Plus one, where they launch on Games Pass. So that would be a good idea. I don't want it to be exclusive because that would just be like, like the 4 people play Xbox. It's like we don't need that. But it's like, I'd rather them just like make a deal where they can launch on Games Pass, and it's very beneficial because like they have worked with them before. I.e., Tell Me Why. I.e., Don't Nod appearing at like Xbox ID showcases and stuff like that. It's like there's benefit of it, but I hope that I do want Lost Records to stay independent, but it does need a strength of a marketing arm or a publisher that's relatively good. I.e., like, for example, like what you've seen with I can't remember what the game's called now. The game that you're talking about, 33.
Expedition
33. Yeah, sorry, Expedition 33. Yeah, something like that. The publisher that works with them and that, like something to kind of like help manufacture.
Kepler Interactive.
Yeah, someone who can like push their game out and give it a bit more exposure, which is the main thing. I expect at least one of those 2 internal games at Paris to be put into an external developer, a publisher. I expect that to be a relationship with it. But I will
say Kepler Interactive not only published Expedition 33, but they also published Sifu, and they are publishing currently Rematch, that soccer game from the same company as Slow Clap. So
so
Kepler Interactive could be a possible publisher.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kepler is located in France. That would be something. That'd be cool. Kepler Interactive, video game publisher. Where are you located? Headquarters in not France. It's in your neck of the woods in London. Hey,
London, baby.
Look at that. Yeah, Kepler Interactive Limited is a British video game publisher based in London and Singapore. So, oh, that's interesting. Kepler Interactive, founded in September 2021. So that's cool. But yeah, cool. Good for them. Maybe Kepler will come into the action. So yeah.
Maybe. I'm interested to see what they do. They do need to get like a bit more stable footing, don't know. So let's see where it goes from here. I'd like Lost Records to stay independent, but if there are publishing deals which help them and don't like make things exclusive, then I'm all for it because they do need a bigger marketing push on these games. So it's very interesting to see the strategy, and it obviously is the same as that. So Adam, should we go into our next piece? We've got like 2 pieces and a lot of miscellaneous ones we can run through.
Oh yeah.
So Adam, we got this as well. This was part of the opening of the annual financial report as well, and it's from Oskar Guilbert, Don't Nod CEO and chairman. A big thank you for Keno as well for looking over the translation as well for me. It's really appreciated because she just looked over and made sure I wasn't misconstruing what he was saying. But as you can see here in the message from Oskar Guilbert, this was the opening message of the annual report. He put, the year 2024 marked a decisive milestone for Don't Nod. We expanded our catalogue with Banishers, Ghost, and New Eden, acclaimed by both critics and players for its emotional depth and scope of its moral choices. Meanwhile, Lost Records Bloom and Rage, developed by a Don't Nod Montreal team, was released in February 2025 and also received excellent critical acclaim, confirming our position as a benchmark in the field of narrative adventure. So, big words from Oskar Guilbert there to send it off. So, yeah, it wasn't the best of years, obviously, seeing what happened to Banishers, which didn't succeed, and then Lost Records coming out in 2025 because it got pushed back, but has sold within lines of sales expectation. It does, again, show the quality of the games is still there because they can tell stories, they're getting acclaim, they're getting good, positive critical reviews. It just feels like Don't Nod needs that final hurdle to be pushed, where it's like getting their games in front of people and they're playing them and buying them, and you have like an Expedition 33 moment where one game sells and it's like, oh wow, Don't Nod's back, and the stock goes stonks. That's what we need.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, unfortunately, like you said, like Don't Nod has had some sinkers and shameful sinkers, dude. Banishers is the fact that Banishers is like located as a flop, and Toussaint especially as a flop. Boo. Oh, stupid gamers, dumb. Do your flosses somewhere else, dude. Get on Banishers, man. Banishers and Toussaint.
It is interesting they worked on Banishers because I don't know how the process went with that. And it's like, obviously, if you would probably say like Vampire 2 would be the thing that they should make just to benefit off like the sales and stuff, but it seems like they didn't want to do it. It seems like it must be like Focus that didn't want to do it because otherwise they would have greenlit it. So they moved on to Banishers, and then they struggled to sell the IP and get it out to people. And it obviously got delayed into 2024 because of like what happened. But yeah, I do find it interesting to see what he's doing there. But it's like, the pipeline of games that Don't Nod needs to expand, and they really need to get into this bigger market, which is what they're doing now. Because like these games like Koira and Lonesome Guild look beautiful, but they ain't needle movers, which is the main thing. So, but Lost Records is a steady success, which seems like the good sign to start with, and hopefully picks up a bit more with time and whatnot, and maybe has a steady foundation for something bigger for Don't Nod. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, Oskar Guilbert with the comments there. So, should we go into our last piece before the miscellaneous, and then we are heading towards the finish line. So, as you can see here, Adam, this was an interesting one. So, I think this is a bit reflective of Alana Pierce's videos we keep mentioning as well, and the climate of the industry. So, Don't Nod spoke about the quote-unquote difficult context facing the entire video game industry, end quote, and the impact on independent developers. It cited 3 areas as the aforementioned, alongside the aforementioned points. So it's increasing product offerings, decreasing average play times, and sector concentration, which I feel like those points are really hitting home on a lot of things there as well. And even that decreasing playing time, because that's interesting. It's almost like YouTube style. Do you want like we see average play time? It's like, oh, actually.
Well, I think that like it also is going back to Claire Obscure Expedition 33, the fact that the game is only 25 to 30 hours when usually JRPGs similar to it are like 150, 200 hours. And it's just like, no, this game is only 25 to 30 hours. I know somebody who's been playing the game and he's 30 to 40 hours deep and he hasn't beaten the story yet because there's so much side content.
Yeah.
It gives you the option to just play the story and it gives you plenty of options to explore. But yeah, lowering the playtime, dude. oh my god, it's too much, man. It's too much. That especially needs to be cut down a little bit just to like sell your game. But yeah, the other three very valid points.
It's a
I'm just
sector
bringing those up real quick.
concentration and increasing product
Yes.
offering.
Yeah, increasing product offerings as well. Um, like that's just it. It's just like you have to offer a lot to these games because you have a lot to compete with. It doesn't
Yeah.
just say like, oh, a good story. Because right now, I'm telling people in my inner circle to play Expedition 33, an amazing game that doesn't need to be sold by me, and yet they're just like, oh, if I have the time for it. And it's just like, what are you talking about? It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's generational. And they're like, yeah, like, because there's so many games that even a game like Expedition 33 is just like, you have to like sell it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, he's absolutely right on all those points.
Yeah, no, it's interesting factors for him to highlight all that because, like, as you said, increasing average play time. Like, I spent about 120 hours on Rebirth before I finished it, and that's not even finishing the entire game. There's
Yeah.
still like things I left there and then stopped playing it. And then it's like, even that as well, where it's concentrated sector. Like we've already said, like horror games are really popular with Let's Players now and like streamers. So it's like if your game doesn't fit in that genre, then people aren't really going to tune in because the viewers don't come in because people want those like, like the YouTube shock reactions and stuff. Like they want that kind of thing. And then also as well, as you said, product sector offering. That's why I don't buy new games. I could just go buy like Red Dead 2 if I wanted to go, or like GTA something and play that. There's so many games now. They've oversaturated the market. And that's not a very good thing.
Yeah.
You don't really want to oversaturate things. You want Pepsi and Coke to be your mainstays. You don't want, was it New Pepsi or New Coke? New Coke when they did
New
that as
Coke.
well. Yeah, when
Yes.
they like New Coke, and it's like just, we have Coke. Like we don't need that.
Yeah.
You are the monopoly like power brand there. It's like that's it. So you don't need more of
Mhm.
it. People will always go back to it because that familiar taste. Same with the game industry.
Mhm.
It's like that's why probably this happened to Telltale, The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the
Yes.
Borderlands, Batman, Minecraft. It was like non-stop. It was like this is eventually going to lead to a crash, and it was like bang, and it hit the train for
Yeah.
Telltale. So interesting to see the factors though, and it was quite interesting to see it from that perspective. But again, these are things that now starting to align for the video game industry. So, Adam, I think we're all done, just barring a couple of miscellaneous. So let's fire through these to keep people in the loop for what's going on. So, we covered this on the Lost Records Journal. So, Don't Nod Montreal has rolled out patch 2.02. You can see the numbers on the video version. It's a long patch for Lost Records Bloom and Rage on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. And as you can see here, on the PlayStation version, you get lighted DualSense controller. Adam, do you get this on your controller?
I have an Xbox Elite controller.
Well, that's not the question I asked.
Yeah, it doesn't light up. No.
Well, there you go.
How many
That's
times are
why.
you looking at your controller though?
I'm looking at. Well, I can look at it all the time now because it can do that. Can you look at your
Oh,
controller?
good.
Like that?
Mine lights up too. It's like the different profiles. So
This is why the Don't Know Montreal team was split over like so much work. They had to put it on Xbox so you could play it, and Yellow Flash Hawkage and the other person that pops up in the comments because the 3 people of
yes,
you own the Xbox. That's why Gears
the
of War is
Xbox
coming to
freaks.
PlayStation. That's why.
Yes,
By the way, that's
man.
amazing.
Oh my god. Can we talk about that remastering the first game again instead
It's
of
coming to
giving you the
PlayStation, bro.
trilogy?
I love
That's
it.
that's great. And I wish you would. I wish PlayStation would get the whole trilogy because, like,
Mm,
if you've been on PlayStation forever and now you're only getting the first game, like, what the heck? Give us the whole trilogy. I don't know. It's so
yeah.
dumb.
The price is a little
Yeah.
bit like, and I'm like, at least it's crossplay and they've like enhanced it to 4K. So essentially, I think it's the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, but like re-enhanced again. But it's like, I'm like, I'll take it though because I really love Gears of War and I don't have an Xbox anymore, and like I do want to play it. Get me on
Yeah.
Gridlock with
I
my
just
Nasher shotgun. I'm gonna be a mayhem carnage.
yeah.
That's what's gonna be. I'm gonna be teabagging
Yeah.
the first person I see. That's what's gonna happen. There's millennial like lore
Yeah.
coming out of me.
I just wish they would give you the entire trilogy. It's just kind of like, dang,
I'm
dude.
sure they'll come to it. Philly will deliver. I'm praying to the Phil Spencer. He will
Yes.
give me the trilogy because that trilogy is
Yes.
fantastic. But back on the point there, as you can see, the rolling patch has happened. Mr. Luc Baghadoust, the studio executive producer at Don't Nod Montreal, tweeted about it. He put on here the May the 7th, a lot of polish and bug fixes in the Lost Records patch that we released today. But the DualSense light bar, but the DualSense light bar new colors is my favorite thing, and you can see here he's got a purple pink style one. Then Luc Baghadoust appeared today as well on the 11th of May on Twitter. He said, And that's not the only color you can see. And someone tweeted saying there's a glow
Oh.
purple one. And if you look at my graphic here as well, look, I got a red one.
Ah, look at that.
So it lights up. Adam, do you get this as well?
Yes, I get your pictures. Yes.
Yeah, but you didn't get your controller to light. I'm just saying that, like, there we go.
Wow.
Just gonna put that out there. Anyway, we'll continue, Adam. Just a little bit of detail here. As you can see, Kid Katana has tweeted as well on 7th of May, all dressed up and sounding just right. We've tested and approved the Lost Records Bloom and Rage vinyl. The music hits just like it should. Ready for your turntable, which is exciting. Nice. I have ordered that as well. I'm very excited for that. Give me the vinyl. I want that vinyl. And then Adam, to end on the note as well, and you mentioned this in the first tape, and our final point, Milk and Bone put on Instagram as well, saying, really appreciate the love for Forgone. So their track features in Lost Records Bloom and Rage. It's from their EP, Baby Dreamer, which you can check out. But obviously, they just put a message out saying thank you to everyone to play their music as well, which is always good for that. And speaking of Milk and Bone as well, episode 3, Wastelands, turned 2019, 6 years old, 2019?
Yes, 2019, 6 years.
6 years old, and obviously they're in that as well with Natalie, which is an amazing song. Speaking of which, because I didn't mention it as well, Life is Strange's Twitter account, none of their social media pages acknowledge the episode 3 Wastelands anniversary. Don't Nod did. But I'm waiting for Happy Birthday Sean Diaz from Life is Strange. We get that photo back out.
When's that Happy Birthday coming out?
Oh, the Sean Diaz one? Ooh, actually,
yeah.
Let's have a look at that. Oh,
yeah.
I do not know Sean Diaz's birthday off the top of my August.
There you go. It's coming up.
If you don't remember, please remind us, guys, because we will be covering that when it comes out. If that is straight in the file, open the file. Yes, there's a Sean photo. Get it out.
Yeah, the same Sean file every time.
I hope
every time.
I really hope that they do it. Yeah, obviously, all that's done. So we have wrapped here. So Adam, should we go into our comment of the day and then spread the arts, and then we will sign off for our 100th episode?
Didn't we already do that in tape 1?
What do you mean?
It's a comment of the day and spread the arts.
Well, let's leave spread the arts then, and we will include a comment of the day because I did pick a comment out. It's just
cool.
It just makes my work a bit futile if I didn't do this. So let's do. Actually, no, because I think you'll like this because this is more for you as well. This comment of the day.
Oh, okay.
So it is in the notes as well. It is from @Defs Avarice. I'm gonna say Avarice. Defs Avarice. Yes. So they said, quote unquote, I really hope Lost Records Bloom and Rage gets some sort of recognition at the Game Awards this year. I haven't played Claire Obscure Expedition 33 yet. I don't know when I will, but I'm glad people are enjoying it. And I know that you've been playing it. So obviously it's big.
I beat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, Claire Obscure is so good, dude. I here's the thing, man, about Lost Records Bloom and Rage. I hope it does get recognition because it does absolutely need to have recognition. However, this year is turning out to be such a banger of a year.
Yeah.
Like between Blueprints, Expedition 33, Duck Detective, it's coming out in May, mixtape. I don't want to say it's going to get lost in the sauce, but thank God, once again, Grand Theft Auto is like going off to next year because there are so many great, amazing games. However, I'm with you that I hope Lost Records doesn't get lost in the sauce. I hope Lost Records gets some recognition. Maybe not Game of the Year, but like art direction, soundtrack,
performer. Olivia Lepore needs to be winning this, or Natalie, or someone needs to be winning this. And even the soundtrack should be definitely nominated for something. That soundtrack is insane.
That's what I mean. There's too many good games coming out for me to say, like, is it Game of the Year contending? I don't know. I think for us personally, yes, but because there's so many banger games coming out, man.
Don't listen to him, Deft Avarice. I'm going to sort it out. Yes. Michelle doesn't know about it, but when I'm stuffing the ballot boxes at Jeff Keighley's event, and then like Michelle's quietly singing the crowd being like, ooh, I don't think we're going to get called. And it's like, Expedition 33. No, Lost Records is one. And Michelle's going to get taken up stage.
Yeah.
And then like Jeff Keighley's going to play the message saying, wrap up quickly, hurry up. Otherwise you're getting pushed into the abyss. And Michelle's gonna be like, I
I
shouldn't be
think
here. Someone else should be winning. I'm like, Michelle, shh. I sabotage the ballot boxes for you to win. So take your award.
how many categories realistically do you think Lost Records gets nominated in?
The Game Awards.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. It'd probably be lucky to get one just because of how stacked the year
That's
is.
That's what I mean, dude. Because again, we're looking at what's coming out in June.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
realistically, I want to say it's going to get nominated for 2 to 3 nominations. But here's another thing. When I say that this year is going to be such a banger year, there are massive rumors, like insane, stupid rumors. Half-Life 3 is coming out this year.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
Dude, and like that's the thing. Like, where's it gonna be showcased? What's coming out in June? Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. And Jeff Keighley loves Steam.
The Dorito Pope.
He loves Dorito Pope. And he loves Gabe
Gabe Newell.
Yeah, Gabe Newell. If Half-Life 3 comes out this year, unfortunately, I don't see it contending for Game of the Year. But I think realistically, I think Bloom and Rage can be nominated for at least two awards.
Whilst we're here, tell you what.
Yeah.
Whilst we're here, where do you think it goes then? This is 2024's one.
Okay, so not Game of the Year, not Game Direction. Unfortunately, I want to say again, I'm talking about realistically here. We're talking like some banger games coming out this year. I think it can be put in art direction. I can think art direction definitely. Best score music.
It should be in there. It should honestly be in there.
It should be. I think Claire Obscure is going to take it.
Boo.
Audio design, no. So I have 2 so far. Art direction and score. Performance, that's 3. Games for Impact.
Do you think they'll get in there in the performance one?
I see
how stacked it is as well. Like even Death Stranding 2 is coming out around the corner. Norman Reedus is getting into that. Troy Baker's getting in there. Put Troy Baker tacked on for that. Higgs is definitely getting a nomination. And I'm not taking anything away from the other actors because it's amazing. But like obviously, like look at this year for example. Hannah Tell got in 2024. If this was out in 2025, she never would have been there.
Yeah, it's stacked, dude. It's stacked.
I would like to hope it comes there, and we see.
But Games for Impact, I think it'll be for Games for Impact at least.
Yeah.
So that best independent game, I don't think it's going to be categorized in that.
Why not?
I don't know. Yeah, but again, we're talking about some heavy independent games. Again, just thinking about blueprints, you know. So maybe, and then best debut. I don't think it qualifies for best debut.
For an indie game, yeah, best debut indie game.
Yeah, but it's in the same Don't Nod, right? So it's Don't Nod Montreal. You know what I mean? Like, would it be qualified as best debut? Because it's the best debut studio. You know?
Is it for the studio?
I think so. So like Claire Obscura would be nominated because it's like a new studio, and it's like their first game. So
okay, so it's a bit of a misleading category. So it's more about the studio.
Yeah. Best ongoing game, Lost Records. Yeah, maybe best independent, maybe.
I could see getting into this category at least.
Which one? Sorry,
best independent game.
Yeah, maybe. I would definitely say. So I'm thinking like art direction, score, games for impact, best independent game. So we got 4 already.
You're giving it a lot of nominations when Double Exposure didn't get that many in this categories either in a very small year.
Yeah,
I'm not taking anything away from Lost Records. It'll be in the entire list here. I'd have an executive producers list on here, and it'd be Luke's name 5 times. No one else is getting nominated for it. Like that's where I stand. But I think like you're giving it a lot of stock. I'd love it to appear in some of these, but some of these categories are so stacked. Like ultimately, I think the ones I can see it for, not Game of the Year because it's just too many big hitters, as you said. Best game direction, unfortunately not. Best narrative in another year probably would have done that because Life is Strange 1 did it for the BAFTAs. Best art direction maybe, but again, like look how many games are coming out. Like Kojima's getting in that with Yoji and that team, and the same with like Clairvoyance is getting Clairvoyance. I'm thinking something else there.
Claire Obscure.
Why was it Clairvoyance? Claire
Yeah.
Obscure then. Claire Obscure is going to get in there.
Yeah.
Best music and score, it should definitely deserve a category in here, but not even Life is Strange ever gets nominated in this, which is weird. And then best
Yeah.
audio design, I don't think it's going to be in there. Best performance,
No.
I'd love to see one of them be in there, like an actor from that as well.
But
That'd be amazing. But
stacked with Death Stranding, dude.
yeah, Death
Dude, this is
Stranding.
gonna feel like the 2018 Game Awards between God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. It's gonna be Claire Obscure versus Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
obviously Kojima as well, and Jeff Keighley, and it'll get nominated
Yeah.
for that, I think.
Again, if Half-Life 3 actually drops this year, if those rumors are true, and we have Half-Life 3 in 2025, like out the water, it's an incredible year.
Yeah. I can see Games for Impact could be potentially best independent game it could get into as well. So
Well,
fingers crossed, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
could
2
get
to
that,
3, I would say. Yeah. What's that?
best community support, maybe. They are fixing it and adjusting things, but maybe too small.
Maybe because, like, again, look at that. Final Fantasy 14. It's the same 5 games every year.
Yeah.
It's the same ones.
Yeah, I think
it's a boring category. Best community support.
It's got so many like weird categories. Oh, maybe in accessibility. No, I don't think they.
Best family game. Yeah, best family game.
Player's voice.
Yeah.
The most anticipated. Look at that. It's so stupid. Most anticipated game. The game didn't even come out in the end. It's like, what pointless category that is for an award ceremony. That's like when Jeff Keighley's like, oh, and here's a nomination for X award, and it's like they bring them out and then just move on. That's horrible formatting. Such a horrible show. Like, thank God that Don't Nod Montreal is not going to be there announcing a game. I watched that for your game when you announced it. I despise the Game Awards. Okay, but yeah, I think we can wrap up here then because we're done and you spread the arts from here. Be next. So I think we'll wrap up here. This is a 2-part episode. So thank you so much. It would have made more sense to do spread the arts now on the second part rather than the first part.
Yeah, I guess we can do another spread the arts if you want.
No, we'll just leave it now. Just
okay, yeah,
killed it. But anyway, no. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as well. Thank you for joining us for our 100th special episode. It's amazing. Bear with us. I think the week after this comes out, I don't know where the schedule's going to go. I don't think that there might not even be a podcast that week because I'm really busy among many other things, and so is Adam and stuff. So let's see where things go. I'm hopefully working on something as well. Hopefully. So yeah, bear with us. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are new here, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel. Turn notifications, like the video. If you do not subscribe, no game award for you. I'm going to take your game award. I'm going to snatch it out of your hands. It's going to be like on the screen when you're doing your acceptance speech. It's going to say, Adnan's coming to take your award. 5, 4, 3. You're like, what the hell's that? And then I'm like, come over. I'm like, bang, and I snatch it and run away. So yeah, please like the video, share your friends, subscribe. It helps support the channel. We're at 1,800 subscribers. You can get us to 1,900. It would be greatly appreciated. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So we've got over 300 followers on Spotify. We've got a video version on there. We've got 49 ratings. So please do rate us and subscribe and follow on there because you get instant access to episodes as soon as they become available. And we're on all podcast services as well. So yeah, bear with us. Schedules are changing and moving around, but I think we'll get back on track later in May as well. And obviously you have Fireside coming up, or you've had Fireside, you've had StrangeCast this week. So it's been a busy week as it is, hopefully. So either way, we'll catch you when we do. But let us know your thoughts in the comments because you can get featured in the next comment of the podcast. Until next time, guys. See you later. Bye.
Later.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.